boys. How's everyone doing? Can you hear me? Test, test, test. So I'm a little late. I had a very busy morning and I wanted to crush some food. I hadn't even eaten. It's already 1:15. You can hear me mouth breathing. That's good enough. So, I took this ETH trade. This, in my opinion, is relatively low odds. And the reason being is we are not above Monday's low on Bitcoin yet. We are on Ethereum. So the signal is valid, right? But it's less confident if Bitcoin isn't back above it as well. I actually just think the risk reward, actually, I'm not quite sure. Risk reward might be better on Bitcoin, but ETH was the only one that actually got back within there. So it's slightly lower odds because Bitcoin is actually rejecting Monday's low. We're rejecting the monthly open here. But effectively what I'm trying to play, where the hell is my little pen? Where is it? There it is. Effectively what I'm trying to play here is this. This ends up being a sweep. Okay. ETH also ends up being a sweep here. That's kind of what we're playing, right? It's an anticipatory sweep of this H12 low, target back into there. But obviously, if this is going to work, I would like to see Bitcoin get back within Monday's range as well. That could be a separate trade. That could be that you could say, hey, I don't want to take ETH yet. I want to take Bitcoin when it gets back in. Maybe that's going to be a better, higher confidence setup. But basically, I'm anticipating that we're getting an H12 sweep here. That's what I'm banking on. H12 sweep here. Stop below the H12 sweep. So it's an early entry for sure. Technically, it's a Monday's range trade. But once that H12 candle closes, then if we're able to get above this, right? So let's assume the H12 candle closes bullish, and this is a sweep. If we get above here, this now becomes an H12, H1 trade as well. So that's kind of the thesis for the trade here. Higher risk as we do have FOMC tomorrow, and we still have this headline risk that we could potentially, right, have escalation in the Middle East, right? So that's something we got to be aware of, but we're going to take the trade anyways, and we're going to see what happens. Now, if we fail to sweep here on the H12, like if the H12 closes down here, if Bitcoin closes, down below these lows, I'll probably cut the long as there's a good chance that I'm wrong and we go and take out 100. Okay? Paratosh, private stream. This is a stream for the Haven members. Are you in the Haven? If you're not, I fuck something up. Mez asks, on what time frame does Monday's low after deviating long? So you can refine this strategy several ways, right? So there's your Monday high. You can have your Monday low. The most basic way to do this is to use the hourly time frame, and it needs to close back within the range on the hourly time frame. Now, this is not going to always work, right? Like, you could have an hourly close here, and then it can come back out and still fail, right? So I like at the very least an hourly close back within, but you can refine this and you can say, okay, I want an hourly close and I want to see a structure break, right? You could use a 30-minute setup. Like there's many ways that you can do it, but I would say at least an hourly close is ideal. But again, like you could wait for the 4 hour. 4 hours is going to be a lot higher confidence than just the hourly. So if you get the hourly close, that's good. You get the 4 hour close, that's obviously much better. So it's kind of up to you what you want to do, but I'd say at least on the hourly, or you can go completely price action based, right? So if I just delete all this and I'll just remove this for now, right? You could say, okay, I want to see, okay, we flip this breaker here. This looks good now. Maybe one more move up. Now I'm going to enter and I'll have my stop below there. Like you can do it based on PA. You could do it based on candle closes, but I'd say a minimum the hourly is going to be the setup that you want to see. Dick Waller, I never miss a stream. All right, so other than this setup here, which we're looking at Monday's range trade, and I don't think this printed on Sol or Bitcoin yet, but it printed on ETH. Still within Monday's range on equities. Nothing on Fartcoin. Let's see, Hype. Hype got back within. Hype had an hourly close back within. BNB is back within. So we'll see. But we have a lot going on right now. So I'm not looking to, take some huge big dick swing here. Shout out to the boy Dick Waller, of course. I'm much more interested in being cautious, right? This is a scalp. High time frame. We're still in this bullish range for now. Trying to see if we get continuation. But if we fail, right, if this just rejects here, which it very well could, I think there's a chance we could sweep out this low. We could even trade back to the yearly open. I don't really want to see that. I'm still watching kind of the monthly open here, which is where we're trading at basically right now, just slightly below as a key level. If we're able to close today back above the monthly open, back above Monday's low, I think pretty high odds we at least go to here. And then we see what happens. But for now, I'm being cautious. A lot of headline risk. FOMC tomorrow. No reason to, completely yeet or delete your bags at this point. Let's just kind of wait and see what happens here over the coming 24 to 48 hours. But for now, we're in this cheeky little long. And I'm not trying to determine if we're going to here or we're going to here. I'm literally just trying to take a trade from here to here. And if we get this right, we make money, we win. Don't need to worry about the macro. Don't need to worry about the war going on in the Middle East. We're just trying to catch a nice little, $100 move on ETH. Keep it simple. What's up, MJF? How you doing, bro? So as always, guys, these streams are 100% for you. So any questions you have, anything you want to know, now is your time to ask. You want me to look at a chart, you have a question about a concept, you need relationship advice, you want some tips on growing your neck, how to get a girlfriend, this time is for you. So fire away. What's up, ZZ? Chillate, Brian Bartol, Juke. Wind beneath your wings. What's up? MS. B dot. Hate from Chi-Town. Thank you, brother. Hate from Canada. Hate from Georgia. You guys are too funny. Man, if we're trading newer pairs, do you adapt the H12, H1 process to lower time frame if there's less price history? Yeah. So if there's not, I mean, I don't know how new of a pair we're talking here, right? But like, if there's not a ton of price history, yeah, you can go lower time frame for sure. Maine, your thoughts on the 15-minute breaker at Monday's low? My thoughts are, I see it. I see it. Like, are you talking about this bad boy right here? Right? So I see it. Let's see if it pushes price higher. I'm just getting fucking peppered, man. So, yeah, let's see if price can push up here. Really key level here. Monthly open and Monday's low. Like, if we want to see higher prices this week, we got to get back above these levels. Otherwise, I think we go down here. So I'm willing to take the stabs on these types of trades because the downside is, another 4% down and risk is relatively tight. Can I look at KTA? Sure. Is this a crypto or is this a company? Is Kita Coin? Is there one with more price history or is this better? Or is this the best one? Oh, there we go. Okay. So huge rally, obviously, right? What jumps out to me here on the weekly is this. So if we do come lower, right, this would put us at a, 70, 80% pullback. I like that weekly fair value gap. But right now, we're right on 3-day demand. So if this is going to go higher, right, we took out, this is last week's low here. Took out last week's low, I think. Did we? Did we take it out or did we just pick it? Yeah, we took it out. So we took out last week's low. I don't know why it looks so weird on here, and we took out the low of the prior 3-day candle. And we're into demand. We're about 50% off the high. I have no idea what this coin does. As always, I rarely know what these altcoins do. But we took out last week's low here. We're coming into demand. So, I mean, I think if the market itself is going to rally, if this is going to have a leg up this week, I don't see why you couldn't long this here. But lose this area, then I think down towards 40 to 50 cents becomes interesting. No clue what the coin does, though. Can you explain how to do the H1 M5 system? Well, it's the exact same as the H12 H1 system, right? It's just different time frames. So the H12 H1, this is your higher time frame, right? This is where you get your range and your POI. This is where you get your entry Well, the M5, the H1 M5 is the exact same. It's just that instead of the H12 here and the H1, it's just the H1 is your range, your POI, right? This is your entry. So it's the exact same. It's just a different high time frame, low time frame. That's all. So don't overthink it. So let's try and find an example here. So let's see if we can find a short maybe here. Maybe a long, I don't know. I think Bitcoin might be a little cleaner. Let me find a chart that's got no lines on it. Okay, so we'll go back in time here. So here's your H1 range, right? There's your low. There's your range high, right? We come up, we take out, and we SFP a range near the range high and the range high itself. So we can go down to the M5 and we could look for an entry fractal. I don't know if we get one here. Looks like we do, but didn't get an entry. But then this is your breaker, right? There's your little sweep on the M5. It just didn't get tagged in. But if this would have tagged, you would have shorted it, right? Let's see if we can find a different setup here where it actually tags you in here. So here's your range low. Here's your range high. Right? That's just on the H1. It's no different than if this is the H12. We sweep the range high. Where's your bias now? Towards the range low, towards the PD array at the range low. And then potentially higher, right? Doesn't end up going higher, ends up breaking down eventually, but we're in a bullish range technically. So we're now targeting, after it sweeps the range high, back towards the discount of the range, right? So at this range high, let's see if we got an entry. Right? There's your breaker right here. MSB, it's kind of all in one here. There's your retest. You could argue that maybe this is your break. I mean, technically this is a raid candle. It's a little bit of a shitty example, but you could argue that this is your breaker and this is your structure break. It doesn't matter. It still gives you a fill. We're talking a difference of like a couple $100 here. And then this thing trades all the way down from here, right? You would have rode that short all the way down. Or just for 2R. Let's assume you took the wide entry, right? So there's your breakdown. There's your MSB. There's your breaker. There's your short. There's your stop. Target the discount to the range. Or even 2R. I mean, it definitely goes for 2R. But if you were to target some old lows here, I mean, this would have been an easy trade. So it's the exact same. Exact same. Just different time frame, right? So your hourly is where you do all your scanning. And remember, the indicator can do this for you, right? This IMG, like you can have it do the H1 is the high time frame and the M5 is your execution. So where's our range? Okay, we're there to there. We're in a bearish price range here, right? Price comes up, tags the bearish order block, puts in an H1 sweep, What do? We zoom in. This is picture perfect, this one, right? Here is your breaker. Pull it up to the high. This is your structure break right there. There's your entry fractal. So instead of this being the H12 and this being on the H1, this is on the H1 and this is the M5. Right? This is a perfect entry on SOL there, right? Bearish range, trades all the way up into the bearish POI, puts in the sweep. There's your entry fractal right there. What do I think is the likely outcome for FOMC? Is there expected rate cuts or same shit? So you should bookmark this page. It's called forexfactory.com. And then you hit calendar. And this will have all of the events, okay? Now, yellow means like low impact, orange, medium impact, red is high impact. So you can see here we have FOMC, which is high impact. So I usually filter. I only want to see high impact news. I don't care about anything else. So we have FOMC here, and you can see the forecast is 4.5%. The previous is 4.5%, meaning that there's no rate cut expected. If the forecast said 4.25%, that would be an expected 25 basis points cut. But because the forecast is the same as the current, there's no rate cuts expected. So if there is rate cuts, that would be presumably bullish. If there's no talk of rate cuts, that was what was expected. If there's a rate hike, which seems very unlikely, that would be considered bearish. But yeah, you should save this website, forexfactory.com. Where would you put your stop loss on hype? I mean, it's kind of rejecting at Monday's low right now, which I don't love. I'd be super pissed if I took this ETH trade and everything just rejects Monday's low except for ETH. But, you know, there's like a little breaker forming there. So if it gets back above Monday's low, you put it down here. And that's good enough risk reward, I believe. That's plenty good. Any thoughts about gray? I hear a lot of guys talking about it. I'm like probably the wrong person to ask. I have no idea what this is or what it does. But it's moving up a lot, so that seems pretty good, right? You know, if you're looking at this just on the H12, there's your order block. Looks like gearing up for potentially another leg here. So other than that, I have no idea what this does. I'm sorry. How would you trade a new chart like Circle? How would you trade a new chart like how would you trade a new chart like Circle? Was in a nice range last week, broke to a new level this week. I mean, if you want to trade this, right, you got to be trading this on the relatively lower time frame because like the 3-day chart, like there's not enough info here. Now, if it comes down here, I'd buy it. Right? Like this would be a retest I'd be interested in buying, but if you're trying to like day trade this thing, you got to be on the pretty low time frame here. So we've got a gap here. It's kind of filled part of the gap, but not all of it. So that might be enough to push it to a new high. But yeah, something that's this new, it's only had a couple of trading days. So if you are going to be trying to trade it, like, I don't know, are you trying to day trade this thing? You got to be doing that on the lower time frame. Otherwise, high time frame, it's just not a lot of info yet. Would be interested in buying a pullback there, potentially, if it gets there. Luis says, I saw you scan hype quickly. When you're looking for a Monday's range setup, would you enter prematurely instead of waiting for the entry fractal? Because maybe you don't need an S tier setup on an S tier coin. Yeah, I mean, I'm entering ETH prematurely. Like, ETH is the only coin. I mean, hype is back within Monday's range too. But yeah, I'm entering this prematurely. Bitcoin, I would like this ETH trade a lot more if Bitcoin got back within there too. So you can for sure. The fact that hype and ETH are back within their Monday's range and Bitcoin is not is just another way to tell which of these coins is the strongest. ETH is stronger than Bitcoin right now. Hype is stronger than Bitcoin right now. ETH BTC is bullish. I imagine Hype BTC is bullish on the day. Has Fartcoin high time frame market structure broken, therefore it's cooked, or is it just in a range? I want to know when to let go of my spot position. So it depends where you bought, obviously, right? Like if you bought at the low here, you know, maybe you take some profit, it's up, you know, 7, 8x. But technically, right, like technically speaking, that was a big structure break, but we're in an uptrend here on like the 3-day. So I would argue that you're still kind of within this range for now. Right? Like, but is this distribution is the question you have to be asking yourself. Like, is this a big lower high? So there's some cause for concern, but in my opinion, on like the highest time frames, the weekly is still technically bullish, but the weekly, like this is the range you want to be watching here. If we lose this range here to the downside, I think that's worrisome. If we break it to the upside, I think we go higher. So, if you're trying to decide what to do, maybe wait to see which side of this range we break out of. But this is a big fucking range. That's the thing with Hypecoin. Like this is, or Fartcoin, this is a 60% range. And by the time we get down here and we get a close and it might seem like it's going lower, that's a big pullback. So if you want to try and be a little bit more kind of adept, on the H12, right? This was very clearly an uptrend here, right? Like that's super clearly an uptrend. This is now potentially starting to trend down. So maybe you want to watch on the H12 and say, okay, if we can't form a higher high here on the H12 relatively soon, I might delete it, yeet it a delete. But this is the big range I'm focused on here. Still technically sideways to answer your question. SFP is swing failure pattern, yes. How to get a girlfriend? Well, you've got to talk to the opposite sex. That's really important. You've got to actually talk to them, which I know can be very difficult and tricky. But if you're able to do that, yeah, you just talk to them and then you just go up to them and you ask. Helps if you are interesting, charming, don't smell bad, maybe go to the gym a little. All those things will help. Go places where those girls that you might be interested in are. If you want to find a chick who is healthy, go meet them at the gym. Do you think if James Wynn shorts BTC with 100 million position size that we will go up? I think you should stop thinking about James Wynn. I also don't think he has enough money to open a $100 million position anymore. Maine, love your vocals, steady and clear. I've always been told I do have a face for radio. If BTC rejects Monday's low, would it still be smart to have ETH one? Well, it would be a lot less likely. Like it's rejecting right now. So what I'm watching more so than Monday's low is the monthly open and whether or not we close the daily as an SFP. That'll determine whether or not I stick in these trades. There is a clear example of it in Cato of what? Monday's low? Yeah, there you go. Monday's range on Cato here. So this actually might even play out twice. I mean, you could argue it took out Monday's low, traded to the high, took out the low again. Now it's moving up. So it's an okay example. Sorry, one sec. I need a new phone number. They fucking leaked my shit with Coinbase. I'm cooked. What do you do with the entry fractal when the move is just so strong that even on the low time frame, the MSB is really far away, but it seems to start consolidating, shifting momentum in the other way? I don't fully understand your question, but if you go to the education videos, there's a few different ways you can enter, right? So let's go back to Solana. The entry fractal can be entered a few different ways, right? You can enter based on the breaker. Okay, I'm just going to show you here. This is the breaker, right? You can enter based on, sorry, this is technically the breaker. Right here. Excuse me. You can enter on the breaker. You can enter on the raid candle, which is just the candle itself. You can also enter on the structure break, right? So you can enter on the MSB. As soon as it closes below the MSB, you can just enter and put your stop at the high. So the raid candle is going to give you the best risk reward, right? The raid candle is going to give you the best risk reward. The MSB is going to give you the worst, but you're going to get filled on more trades with the MSB entry than you will on the raid candle. The break goes somewhere in the middle. So, but sometimes, yeah, sometimes if the market moves away aggressively, like you just don't get filled. Like this is something that a lot of people early on struggle with is like, what happens if it doesn't come to my entry? That's going to happen a lot. You're going to have like everything, okay, perfect, limits here, and it's going to do this. And that's just going to go. And you got to ask yourself, are you going to stick to your plan and you're only entering if it's coming here? Then great, that's what you do. But there are ways that you can get in, right? Like if this doesn't come back here, but then we get another sweep and another structure break here, I could enter on this with my stop here. I'm still within the high time frame POI, and now I have a low time frame MSB, and I'm trying to enter in on continuation. Can you remind me why you don't trade the H1 M5 very often as opposed to your high time frame purposes? I just prefer to trade the high time frame. Less noisy, less to worry about. I don't have to be watching the charts as often, right? The H12 candle only closes twice a day. It's all preference. You mentioned in the WAP video you'd trade at night using this system. I don't really know what you're saying there. You were so polite today. Well, fuck you, Andy. Just kidding. Main. May I know how do you pick which range cluster to start to draw your H12 horizontal lines? Is there always a range after it trends up or down? Just go find the most recent structure break and start. So if I'm on the hourly here, where's the most recent MSB? Here. Okay? That means the most, excuse me. This is our current H1 range from here to here. Just find the most recent MSB. I do have Still Dre as a ringtone. How do you know which swing high to swing low to pick? I'd hopefully just explain that. What is POI? Point of interest. If some of these questions, guys, tell me that you have not watched the educational videos yet, I really, really encourage you to watch the educational videos, and these streams are going to be a lot more helpful for you. Sol ETH. All right, still kind of just in this range. At the range low. What are the odds it maybe drifts back up here? And maybe Sol outperforms. Pretty decent, I'd say. What's a POI? Point of interest. Next time Bitcoin hits its FVG with a long setup, what alts do you feel are the strongest for 2x? I mean, impossible question to answer. I have no idea. You have to go through your list, and Bitcoin doesn't have to hit a fair value gap to go up. Bitcoin can go up from anywhere. But next time Bitcoin legs up, what you need to do is go look at alts versus BTC and determine which alts look good. But there's a lot of, there's always going to be a lot of opportunities if the market remains bullish. But it's impossible to say these specific ones. Like people who talk like, hey, these 5 altcoins are the ones that are going to go up the most. They're talking completely out of their ass. Like you have to just go and look. Like I really like how this chart looks. Curve BTC. I think Curve BTC, because of how bottomed this is and having this structure, if Bitcoin legs up and this rallies, this looks good to me. Therefore, maybe I want to go long Curve USD. But there's going to be tons of coins that go up a lot. It's up to you to just kind of go through your watch list and find coins where you think the Bitcoin setup looks best. But to just say, hey, these ones are going to 2x, I don't fucking know. Am I able to tell you my current spot alt bags? I hold almost no altcoins at this point. I have Solana, I have ETH, I have Bitcoin, I have OXO, I have Beam, I have some Hype, I have some Rollbit, but like that's it. I sold a ton of stuff. Like I told you guys when we made this initial move up here, when we made this run up, remember we bought spot down here. I sold a bunch of shit here because my initial plan was to sell once we had a 3-day structure break. But then we got this weekly candle was weird, and then it broke down. So I took some profit on a bunch of shit, and I posted all this for you guys on Telegram and in the Haven. I got rid of a lot of just dog shit that I was holding, and I just kind of tightened up, concentrated my bets a little bit, and I took some profit. So I don't have a ton. I'm not holding 50 different fucking coins. Just too much to manage. Are you leaving CT next cycle or you stay in the Haven? I will likely leave Twitter before I leave the Haven, but I'm not going to do everything forever. Eventually, things come to an end, but I have no intention of leaving the Haven anytime soon. But I'm not going to be on Twitter fucking 3 years from now. That's for fucking sure. Is this accurate? Hold on. Like, I feel like I'm just an idiot and I'm longing right before the U.S. like fucking nukes Iran or something. Let me see here. Hold on. Trying to find where's Walter? Where's Walter? Where's Walter? All right. So, I mean, this is what we're longing into here. Iran has prepared missiles and other military equipment for strikes on U.S. bases if U.S. wants to join the war. Iranian attacks are targeting Israeli air bases. Trump national security meeting ends after an hour. Israeli military says missiles launched from Iran towards Israel. I mean, I don't know, bro. Not ideal. Not ideal. Hopefully they just let us get away with this cheeky little long here. Maine, what is your TG? It's in the description of the YouTube video, but nothing that's in the TG is stuff that you're not getting in the Haven. Remember, you got full access in the Haven. You can ask me questions all day, anything you need to know. If you only had 10K to work with, would you buy spot or low lev longs for the last bit of the cycle? I'm not saying this because it's my company. I would seriously consider trying out prop if you want to trade. You can get a 5K account for $60. So if you're pretty confident that in a long, you can long a 5K account with 5x leverage. That's a 25K position and it's $60. So I would highly consider trying out breakout. But yeah, I mean, if you only have 10K and you're trying to turn it into as much as possible, I would try and find an altcoin and hope that if we get some sort of alt season, you can rip it. Like, I mean, yeah, you could long Bitcoin, you could long ETH, but I don't think Bitcoin has a 2x in it. Maybe it does, but I think you're much more likely to get a 2 or 3x out of an altcoin, and you got to be willing to take that risk. Have I ever full ported at least once in your trading career? I've full ported hundreds of times. I've been liquidated tons of times. Doesn't mean it's a good thing to do, but I was an idiot. I had trying to remember the coin. I think it was Nearcoin. This was like 4 or 5 years ago. I had maybe not even 4 or 5 years ago. It might be 3 years ago. It was just before FTX. But I lost, I don't know, a couple $100,000 out of my trading account, and I'd been at a point where I'd like put in money, run it up, and then withdraw. I had a couple $100,000, like I don't know, 400K maybe in my trading account, and I fucking nuked the entire thing down to like the last 30K, and I like went all in, fucking 10x long, and basically made it all back in one trade. Very stupid, but worth it because it worked. But if it doesn't work, full porting's retarded. If it does work, you're a genius. Hell yeah, Andy. Let's go, buddy. I had a huge bag of both Popcat and Peanut, and I made no fucking money from either of them. So there you go. When the cycle ends and we go into a bear market, can you still be profitable leverage trade? Yeah, you can short. I mean, most people will not be because they only know how to long. Most people only know how to trade when the market does this. They have no idea how to trade when it does this. But it's just same concept. It's just upside down. You're shorting instead of longing. You can invert your chart too, right? Like if you don't know how to short, just invert your chart. When this is bullish, right? You might say, hey, look, we just swept out the lows here. I think this might pump. Well, that means you're shorting, right? So if you go look back in time here, like this seems like a pretty obvious long, right? In hindsight, oh man, range low deviation, swept out the low, structure shift. I'm bullish now. Well, guess what? You just shorted the entire bull market. Bear market, excuse me. Most people learn to trade in a bull run. So when the market conditions change, they have no idea what to do. How's the economic situation in Canada now? Is it better? How's about renting in Vancouver, Toronto? Rents are extremely high. Housing is in a bubble. There's not enough jobs. Cost of living is extremely high. Wages are low. Cost of housing is out of control, and the economy's not growing. Other than that, it's going really good. How to adjust during war like right now? I would just say size down, be a little bit more cautious, realize that, you know, a headline can move price a couple of percent instantaneously. Like Trump set out that tweet yesterday, right? And price went from like here to here in basically a straight line. So just be aware of the environment we're in. Why don't you look for shorts in this market conditions? Why long still? You can look for shorts if you think the market's going to go down. If you think the market's going to go up, you look for longs. It's just your bias. My hope is that the market isn't done going up yet, but there's a chance that the top's in or something. We don't know yet. Trump is going to address the public. Well, that's not good. Hopefully he doesn't say anything insane. Did trading on Adderall increase or decrease your P&L? I haven't done a ton of Adderall. Adderall makes me feel really fucked. I feel like I'm on crack because it basically is crack. Hey, man, I am short BTC from 108 and I'm in a long from 104. Nice. So you're basically short from here and long from here. What's your game plan? Yeah, it's basically meth, exactly. I don't know. It just made me feel fucking weird. I wouldn't eat. I didn't feel good. Not a fan. Anyways, I am playing with poker chips. Guys, I gotta jump to another meeting here, but a pleasure as always. If you got any questions, of course, just hit me up, let me know. Pray that we get a little just cheeky ETH long here to go about our day. Be a nice start to the week. And I'll be back. I'll be back soon. Now I'm sleeping like shit, but someone said it might be because I'm intermittent fasting. Anyways, I'll be back with another video soon. The educational video is going to be recorded either today or tomorrow to wrap up that series. Okay, guys? So that will be that. Then we'll be on to some new educational stuff. I love you all. Goodbye.